headlines of this hour on VTV News. Prime Minister sets the deadline for GTO Gamau Expressway project to be completed by December 19. And Đồng Tháp receives 6 Red Crown cranes at Cham Tim National Park.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It is 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi and you're watching VTV News. I'm Nguyen with the top stories. Now on Sunday morning in Ho Chi Minh City, Prime Minister Phie attended a conference reviewing the project to support students in starting a business until 2025 and opened the 7th National Student Startup Festival in 2025. Speaking at the event, Prime Minister Phie emphasized that a nation's strength depends on its youth, making it essential to create an environment where young people can innovate and start businesses. The Prime Minister urged ministries, agencies and local authorities to fine-tune mechanisms and policies supporting student entrepreneurship, particularly in finance, intellectual property and public-private partnerships. He advocated expanding student startup support funds through public capital, establishing platforms for idea exchange, and developing startup mentor networks at both local and institutional levels. And also on Sunday, Prime Minister Phie inspected the construction site in Gamau and held working sessions with relevant units to accelerate progress on the GTO Gamau Expressway project, a key development in the Mekong Delta. The Prime Minister also urged the development of the expressway section from Gamau to Đất Mũi and onward to Hon Khoai Port. More to follow.
The GTO Gamau Expressway spans nearly 111 kilometers and is divided into 2 components, the GTO Hậu Giang section and the Hậu Giang Gamau section, with a total investment of over $1 billion. The completion of 206 kilometers of expressways in the Mekong Delta this year will help achieve the national target of building at least 3,000 kilometers of expressways by 2025.
In previous meetings with the Prime Minister, we mainly raised issues such as site clearance and material supply to seek solutions. Now that those difficulties have been resolved, we are focusing on delivering quality work and meeting the expectations of the Prime Minister and the people.
All of the Prime Minister's 5 directives have been implemented in this project, setting valuable precedents for future projects. First, thanks to the involvement of the entire political system, the GTO Gamau Expressway has achieved record-breaking site clearance. Second, issues related to the materials have been resolved. Third, local leaders have established a consistent presence on site to support and encourage workers. Fourth, innovative approaches have been adopted to ensure the project stays on track. Lastly, contractors now coordinate and rotate tasks with others for seamless execution.
Regarding the GTO Gamau Expressway project, Prime Minister Phie called for the full deployment of manpower, machinery and equipment and urged continued research and application of science and technology to ensure the project stays on schedule.
The project must be inaugurated by December 19th. Don't wait until December 31st. December 19th is also National Resistance Day. I strongly encourage completion even before this deadline.
The Prime Minister tasked the Ministry of National Defense to urgently implement the expressway section from Gamau to Đất Mũi and onward to Hon Khoai Port. Additionally, Gamau Province must handle site clearance as a separate project. The Central Committee will provide 50% of the project funding.
Now moving to economic news, the private economic sector faces several key limitations: fragmented development, poor connectivity, limited scalability, and weak competitiveness. Additionally, many household businesses lack the motivation to grow into formal enterprises. And to address these challenges, various initiatives have been launched to help the sector integrate more deeply into domestic, regional, and global value chains.
Fermented shrimp paste with ground pork or pork floss is one of Bắc Ninh province's standout products, recently recognized among the top 100 ASEAN famous brands. However, these brands maintain small-scale operations within the province. They have not yet developed plans to partner with larger distributors or expand their customer reach.
We've worked several times with different organizations on building value chains, but the effectiveness and actual implementation of these plans fell short of our expectations. So, we haven't succeeded in integrating our products into joint value chain models.
New commercial models create direct connections between producers and stores, reducing both distance and time. Our goal is to have made in Vietnam goods represent 80 to 90% of products in modern distribution channels.
The lack of production linkages creates challenges for businesses, particularly companies in high-tech industries that face shortages of domestic raw materials, ultimately weakening their competitive edge.
Standard components for high-tech machinery production are not available in Vietnam. We must rely entirely on imports, which has increased our production costs by 30 to 35%. As a result, we've lost our competitive edge against foreign companies.
Bắc Ninh will establish an exchange platform for equipment and technology. This will serve as a venue for businesses to explore, connect, and expand investment and production activities.
In addition to institutional and policy reforms, many experts believe that new solutions, such as assigning specific tasks to private sector entities, could help strengthen the private sector's overall capabilities.
Now, according to World Bank research, poor households in Vietnam spend 1/3 of their total expenses on hospital fees and tuition, creating financial barriers to accessing essential healthcare services. Party General Secretary To Lâm has issued a directive to prioritize healthcare sector development, focusing on public healthcare. And his directive includes considering the waiver of hospital fees for all citizens by 2030, a humanitarian goal that has sparked hope among the people.
Research from the healthcare sector reveals that cancer treatment costs about $6,800 per year, with patients bearing up to 70% of these expenses. This financial burden has forced 37.4% of cancer patients into poverty. Consequently, the prospect of future hospital fee exemptions has brought tremendous hope to cancer patients.
Paying these fees is very difficult, especially for the poor, so ensuring equal access to healthcare is essential.
If this policy is implemented, cancer patients will have the chance to receive early treatment with advanced techniques and quality medication, as most are diagnosed at an older age when their financial resources are limited.
If hospital fee exemptions or reductions are applied, we see this as a truly meaningful policy for cancer patients. It will greatly benefit the community, and as doctors, we are also very happy knowing our patients will have better access to more effective treatment methods.
Implementing the hospital fee exemption policy requires 3 key factors: improving healthcare system quality, reorganizing its structure, and securing adequate funding. A portion of this funding will come from the Health Insurance Fund.
We need to review and adjust health insurance contribution rates to ensure sufficient funding. And I think the government will need to allocate funding from tax revenues.
To achieve universal hospital fee exemption, Vietnam must prepare adequate infrastructure, a skilled workforce, and sufficient financial resources, particularly by expanding health insurance coverage and services.
Welcome back to VTV News. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính attended the political art program Memories Left Behind in Tây Ninh Province on Saturday evening. Former State President Nguyễn Minh Chiết and former Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng also attended the event. The program, officially titled Memories Left Behind, was organized by the Central Police Party Committee of the Ministry of Public Security in collaboration with the Tây Ninh Province People's Committee. The event was held at the heroic Memorial Square of Tây Ninh Province, marking both the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and national reunification, and the 65th anniversary of the Central Security Committee of the Southern Department's founding. The program featured over 500 professional artists, accompanied by 120 soldiers from the People's Public Security PX-03 Tây Ninh Confederate Army and cavalry units, along with various military equipment displays. And on a similar note, Vietnam is joyfully preparing for the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and national reunification. This celebratory spirit has spread to Vietnamese communities around the world. In Russia, Vietnamese associations are turning their attention homeward, commemorating this momentous holiday through various activities.
After work hours, members of the Moscow Public Arts and Music Club gather here to prepare for the 50th anniversary of Vietnam's reunification celebration. Although the club was only established 6 months ago, its members have been closely connected to Russia for over 30 years.
We are very excited to prepare for this event. Everyone is practicing for special performances. We all want to express our love and longing for our homeland through these songs.
This year's program, organized by the Association of Vietnamese Veterans in Russia, holds special significance as the country commemorates the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and national reunification.
As former soldiers, we fondly recall our nation's heroic past. I joined the army in 1975, and shortly after, the country was liberated. That feeling has been rekindled once again. We hope to inspire patriotism among the Vietnamese community in Russia while teaching the younger generation about their responsibilities to their homeland.
Carrying the spirit of Uncle Ho's soldiers, many former soldiers have become key figures in the development of the Vietnamese community in Russia. Every year, on April the 30th, Moscow becomes the meeting point for former comrades and overseas Vietnamese to reflect on the country's heroic journey and honor those who sacrificed their lives for this historic victory.
The Đồng Tháp Provincial People's Committee organized a program on Sunday to receive red crown cranes at Tam Tim National Park in Tam Nông District. The cranes, originally raised at Nakhon Ratchasima Zoo, were flown to Vietnam and completed their mandatory wildlife quarantine at Saigon Zoo and Botanical Gardens. Now cleared for release, they will be transported to Tam Tim National Park for long-term care and conservation. This event marks a significant milestone in the park's Red Crown Cranes Conservation and Development Project from 2022 to 2032, which aims to restore this rare bird species. Now in our cultural news, the Vietnamese community in China hosted Vietnamese Áo Dài, the heritage that connects, a fashion event held from April 18th to 20th in Beijing. The event celebrated the 75th anniversary of diplomatic relations and the Vietnam-China Year of Humanistic Exchange. It paid tribute to the cultural value of the Áo Dài while fostering pride and awareness about preserving this heritage. The event served as a platform to promote Vietnam's culture, people, and country. Renowned designers Tuấn Sành, Han Phuc, and the Vietnam Village Club presented their Áo Dài designs at the event, and their creations combined traditional silk with innovative ideas, reflecting the fusion of past and present while showcasing Vietnam in an era of development. And as usual, let's move on to the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.